How's everybody doing? Like that thumbnail was plenty stupid enough. Let's see, what should we play first? I'm gonna give Morchang. I've been playing more and more Morchang. The gaps on these Mohan are so tight. The coconut oil, they're just like a baba. You have the coconut oil to stop them. Come on, Harp, warm up. The gaps on these Mohan, they're so tight, the coconut oil will stop them from working. And I'm getting, we're getting 30 or 40 some more Mohan coming here in 4 to 5 days. Oh, there it is. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Banjo? And I lost one of the comments. Hey, Void Walker, how you doing? How's things going in your neck of the woods? How has everyone's 2018 treated them? It's almost over. This is probably going to be the... Hey, greetings, Dr. Upton. It's going to be the last one of 2018. 2019 is shaping up to be a real good year. Lots of good harps coming. The festival announced. We got the dates all secured and the venue secured. It's going to be a camping one out in the forest. Brian Bell, how you doing? How's the harping treating you? Real excited for the festival because we're gonna be camping. We're gonna be hanging out. We're gonna be walking in the forest. All sorts of cool stuff. It's gonna be an exciting festival. Less formal than the last one. I shouldn't say less formal, but yeah, not indoors. So we'll be out in the forest, camping, playing harps. Pretty all right. Yeah, it was a good year. Been playing a lot of different harps recently. This one played a Mohan for a good part today. Had some harps come in. Haven't aired the unboxing yet. These are interesting. I'll show you these. Oh, this. You can go right there. These are. Wish I could get up to the. Oh yeah. Well, maybe someday the festival will come to other countries. But if you're in some of the other countries like Europe and Russia, there's festivals that go on up there. I think this month, isn't it Global Vibes is happening? I don't know if Global Vibes already happened or not. It may be in December. It may be in January. I'll have to check. But there was Global Vibes in Keksimet, Hungary. And I probably didn't pronounce Keksimet correctly. Hey, Bailey Little, how you doing? This is an interesting harp. This is... Sumatran Gangong and iron. Not a very sensitive harp. Kind of rough, but get some interesting tones out of them. I'll move my mic upward because this isn't a loud harp. Oh, I am well. I think it's you ordered the harp down in Australia and it kind of got lost over Christmas and it just resurfaced. I seen on tracking. I sent you an email. You asked about Afghan. Oh, the Afghan pattern. Like, I like the Afghan pattern. I really like the half Afghan, the Afghan. Well, I've been getting into a lot of the Gorka here of late. Got some more Gorka and Rekka coming. Hey, Joe, how you doing? How's things out in your neck of the woods? Wee 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 wee. Wee wah wee wah wee wah. Oh yeah, them Litvinovs are screaming loud. Litvinov's a dang good harp. What is the best beginner harp you would recommend? There's a lot of good beginner harps, and the most important thing is get one with okay sensitivity that requires at least a little bit of precision, and it's quality made. I would suggest, like on the cheapest end, Pokin work really well. Also, Glaser & Lighthouse, Wave, Compass, Solagi Chancellors. One's particularly clicky. To grab my Chancellor back here. Oh, and another one I've been recommending a lot to people. This is a Chancellor. Mark Poss from mouthmusic.com sells the Chancellor. Somebody asked a good question, what to do against bleeding. I'll answer that next up. Yeah, Solagi Chancellor, real good for beginners to intermediates. I still enjoy my Chancellor. Another one is the Tailless Gorka. Super easy to play, and also for a Morchang, one of the easier Morchang to get into because it's not as stiff. A lot of the Gorka aren't as stiff as well, and you can get really complex technique out of them still. I should explain open close. Okay, I'll explain open close. Somebody said something about bleeding. A lot of the times I used to get bleeding, and a lot of the time it was from like a Glaser harp, and you get them, and most any harp will, if you start getting it up in the corner of your mouth too much, the end of the harp acts like a little pincher, and you'll get a little bit of blood there. What you need to do is just move the harp in, not even a quarter of an inch, and it won't cut you at all anymore. And somebody wanted me to explain open close. Open close, you hear me doing it a lot. It's opening and closing the glottis. Like put your hand here and huh, say huh, huh. Give some end to it. You feel that thing that moves there. I believe that is the glottis that shuts. And that makes it go, on a saturated harp, it sounds like. And you can do that, and you can change different tones, and also opening and closing. That's it on a saturated one, but you can get open close on pretty much anything. It's going to be the most apparent on harps that are a little bit more melodic and not as saturated, and oftentimes not as loud. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, Gorka Tailless. I would say getting the Glaser. I missed that comment. But a lot of the Glaser harps are for those seeking a beginner harp that's getting in that saturated, really loud, saturated Glaser and stuff, and it leads to the other Glaser. And for Morchang, I recommend the Gorka Tailless because it's your beginning to melodics, I would say, or beginning to non-saturated open-close harp. Hear how the tones seem clearer? I get better steps out of it. If a harp's too saturated, oftentimes they kind of blur together. Somebody says, may I ask how it is to make enough money to afford all these harps? Well, I do heating and air for a living, which pays really well. And also, I have a company that sells harps, so I'm constantly importing harps and selling them. And all my harps come from theharpery.com. There's some that I just keep for myself. Out of a shipment, I'll keep maybe one, maybe two harps. And out of a lot of shipments, I haven't been keeping harps just because I have too many harps. Because it gets to be work to cleaning and maintaining them all. And then I've got drawers and drawers and drawers of harps. And the Harpery is going to grow a lot, I think, in 2019 as well. Whereas you have a saturated harp, you don't get, it doesn't feel as clean to me. You bled on the inner side of the harp. I wonder, was it rubbing on your lip, or if your lips came in too close and maybe they were rubbing on the reed? I'm not sure exactly what made you bleed on the inside of the harp, but a lot of times I don't bleed anymore because I eliminated. I would always bleed in the corner, so I moved in a little bit. And I'm not really touching my tongue to the reed. I think there is a technique called tongue slapping where you hit your tongue on the reed. That's not something I do, but if the harp rubs up against, because it's fairly abrasive, a harp reed is decently sharp. It will make you bleed if it's abrading you. So those are the things I would look for if you want to wanted to stop that. See where your lips are at, see where your tongue is at while you're playing, and just watch out for the reed, either the reed pinching you in between the decks or just a reed rubbing up against something. If, like in the corner of the mouth, just the reed rubbing up against the corner of your inside of your lip will abrade it so much. It's like a little scissor down there just rubbing up against there, and that'll make you bleed. But if I have a harp that's not as saturated, and I believe someone told me, who knows a lot more than me, that harps that are saturated means there's an abundance of higher overtones, I believe, so you get them crackling. Hey, Nick Coleman, how you doing? And if Jake Wiz, hold on a second. There's one raffle winner that, where did it go? I believe it's Jake WIS won this harp. We originally Skady Bifrost won it, but they ended up already having one, so we redrew for Jake Wiss, spelled JAKEWIS. If you're out there, have your harp, and it's the only one from the drawing that hasn't been. We did a drawing on Facebook, then we did a drawing for 2 harps on here, and it's the only one that haven't been able to contact them yet. Just want to introduce myself to the harp. Oh, hey, how you doing? I think it said something Baker. I'm probably too close to this microphone. I moved the microphone up here so that I could play the Sumatran gong and iron, and so we might be too loud for this. We'll move it back up here in a second. I want to touch base on the gong and iron again, because I do enjoy that harp. There's just not a lot of volume to it. I don't know if you saw my previous question, but this is it again. Okay, so what's question? Is the Schwartz really the original? I would have to say I don't know the history on what the original jaw harp is, but I believe, if you're talking like the first jaw harps, I believe that jaw harps were around before there was metal. I believe Sussaps and Corindings, I don't know about how old Corindings are, but like Sussap and stuff like that are going to date back further, probably in the Schwartz. I'm not sure how long Schwartz has been manufacturing jaw harps. I guess I don't know if I could accurately answer that, but I think probably before there were Schwartz, there were people forging harps, smaller makers. They're makers. Norse harp found clear back to centuries and centuries ago. Yeah, there's jaw harps date back a long time. A lot of the time they'll find them without. This one is supposedly a medieval one. A friend sent it to me. I'm going to possibly be remaking it. I thought about putting another reed in it, and I think that this antique harp, very old harp, should be left original, and I make a copy of it so that it can stay in its original state in case anybody ever wants to study it. It's supposedly medieval, maybe. A friend of mine got it off eBay, and then the Schwartz says the original, but yeah, it probably is the original Schwartz, but it's there. I don't think Schwartz is the original brand, but don't quote me on that. This one here, what was I saying? Oh, yes. Got it from England, and it came from an estate auction, and it came from a digging that occurred in the UK somewhere. I'm not sure, I think. So, very, very old harp, and the reed rusted away. I believe the reeds rust away on harps first because they're the thinnest. There's the least metal they can lose there. And where was we at here? I was playing a harp. I'll go back to playing the Gingo. Greetings from Germany. We have it. Oh, cool. You said you've been in trouble playing your lighthouse because it is sloped. Can I just say that the thumbnail is very creepy? Yes. I sit here sometimes. Sometimes it takes me about 3 seconds to decide what I'm going to do. Just some random thing for the thumbnail. And my goal for the thumbnails is to make each one stupider than before. And yeah, that thumbnail was very creepy. I had the harp as has eyes. Anything that distorts normal human features is going to be probably creepy. Because I still had eyes, but there were harps where my eyes were. And these gingong or gingong and iron are pretty interesting. They flare out toward the middle. I think the only other harp I have that flares out toward the middle would be... I don't know where it's at. I got a 100-year-old J.R. Smith that does that. Doesn't play very good. Very, very bent. There it is right there. I mean, it flares out in the middle and then gets skinnier on the end. So does this. Yeah, this one does not play good. I should take and straighten the reed up. Reed's been plucked very, very hard outward, and it, over time, it probably was played for years or decades like that, it bananaed it. Almost no sustain. Well, that probably was a fairly melodic harp when it was made before the reed got bent like a banana. Anything that distorts the, what I like to call the third plane on the harp, I don't know what that's what other harp makers call it, this plane, anything that distorts that will distort the melodic nature of it or the clarity of it, which is what you need to get precise sounding open-close stuff. It needs to have, I would say, clarity maybe. I'm probably not using the proper terminology. A lot of the times if I don't know the proper terminology for something, I'll just make up a word for it. How are you supposed to put your teeth on a Glasern harp? That is a good question. On the back of it, that's what somebody was probably asking. The back of it, they're sloped. Like there's just like a lot of harps, the back's going to be sloped. I have a Lighthouse as well. It's kind of strange getting used to the sloped edge, but you can find it comfortable. Okay, your teeth on a Glasern harp or on any harp aren't going to go on the outside. They're going to go up against it, sloped so that the tips of your incisors will rest up against there. That slope is where they rest up against. They're not going here. They're not going flat to it. We're going right on there because that allows you to have a little bit of tension down and a little bit of tension in. It kind of anchors it in. Just happen to have a Lighthouse handy, but yeah, that sloped area is where your teeth go. And if you have a weird teeth pattern like these two teeth on me sit forward, that's the one that's the ones basically I rest against there. They sit forward a little ways. Just have to have a good solid anchoring point. If the harp has any room to bounce, it will slow the reed down because as the reed comes, they counteract each other. But if it's braced hard up against something like a table or your teeth, you get a lot more sustain. Oh yeah, Lighthouse is a good harp. It's probably my favorite of the three between the Wave, Compass, and Glasern, or Wave, Compass, and Lighthouse. But the Compass is probably the easiest one to play fast, and the Wave does have some hillbilly, yay for cricket. Oh yeah, grill is how it is. A sip of tea. But yeah, I'm going to be delving into this harp a lot tonight after the upload. Going to watch a movie. The little man's going to sleep a little bit earlier tonight. It's a good thing. Okay, what was... Oh, another one I was playing last night. And I aired a video kind of late last night showing some of the stuff I was doing. I did it on a Corinding. I did it on a Maranzano. And then I ended on a Gorky Akut. Somebody says, what's the difference between the sound between Lighthouse and Phantom? Well, I don't know where my Phantom's at. I don't want to spend too much time digging for harps. But yeah, a Phantom is a two-tone harp. It's going to be a lot stiffer. Phantom's going to be a lot louder. It's going to go fairly low because you can weight it down. It has a ball that fits in the trigger. And then, I think my Phantom's upstairs. And then you can also remove the ball. So you have kind of a powerful mid-range harp and a bass harp would be the difference. Phantom's a lot more expensive. And what I was doing on those three harps is I would take like three dissimilar harps like this, Maranzano and Gorky Yakut harp, which isn't an actual Yakut, but it's just the pattern on it. And I would do kind of the same thing. I did kind of the same flow. If you watch that video, I think it was Weird Jaw Harp or at night or something, late night Jaw Harp Weird, I think is what it's called. And I'm doing the same technique on all three harps pretty much, and they kind of a similar flow. They weren't exact because it's just a flow. I don't have any plan. Kind of a rhythm I get into. I did the same thing on all three harps, and it really helps to bring things out. And especially I've been playing the wooden harps a lot, especially the Corinding. It's helped my open and my close, because I think a lot of the time I was closing my soft palate, which I think is the back of my mouth, when I need to be playing the wooden harps. I get a little bit more precise. My open closer, they feel more like completely open and completely closed. Feels more clear to me, at least. Oh, good luck with your headache. Sleep well. And see y'all in 2019. Yuck, 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 yuck. And sometimes I'll probably do one thing of the yucks, and then I'll start breathing in yuck, yuck, yuck. In the heart. Oh, Happy New Year, Mark Sword out. There I'm saying yuck, 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 but I'm breathing in yuck, 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 yuck. And then I'll go out yuck, 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 yuck. And I don't know if there I'm doing complete closes or not. I enjoy being weird on that. Sometimes I'm gonna get pretty good melody type rhythms out of it. Okay, what else should we play? I think I'm gonna play something a little loud. I think we're gonna be all right. Won't wake the child upstairs. There's that same thing. I started out saying yuck, 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 and we're yuck, 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 and bring my tongue up. So I bring the tone up, and then I started coming down. When I got to the top, I was full of air, so I had to get rid of it. So I started saying yuck, 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 yuck with my tongue coming down. So I'm kind of doing the same thing inward as I am outward, and then maybe I'll just bust into a flow, and then we'll do something maybe the same flow on a different harp. I find it helps the technique if I try it on a whole bunch of different harps, especially harps that are dissimilar, because it just opens up your mind when you play a harp that's saturated, and then a harp that's more melodic, and then a harp that's fuzzy, and maybe a wooden one. It opens up your mind to the way the rhythm works, and also I think to the way the tones. How much does it cost for a decent quality Morching? A decent quality Morching aren't expensive. Like Rekka are getting really good. They're around $25. The Gorka are around $25 as well. The brass ones I think are $37. Mohan are a little bit more expensive, $50 to $75. I think $85 for the bigger ones. Who was it? Gorka just came out with a giant harp, like a 1 pound. It said 500 grams. Huge Morchang. I got a couple of those coming. And what was I going to say? Oh, we're going to play somebody said Morchang, and I love playing Morchang. So we'll see what we got going with a Morchang. Get a half gan. Oh, somebody says, can you tell me where to get a good harp, please? Go to theharpery.com, and there's lots of good harps there. This harp here, this is a half Afghan. This is a Gorka. The Gorka are going to be... Rekka play, the newer Rekka at least, play a little bit cleaner than the Gorka do, I feel, for the most part. But the Gorka have this pleasant drone or pleasant buzzing. And all harps have a drone. Don't misunderstand me for that. But yeah, all harps have a drone, but it just seems more drony or more fuzzy. But it's fuzz done in a right way. They just have an interesting quality for it. The one before that harp... Oh, you're talking about the Maxea? Yeah. Box set were good. I think that's the unboxing video from maybe yesterday. Normally harps come in, it's 3 to 4 to 5 days before I air it unboxing. But yeah, the box set. It's actually, it lands near B1. He said, I wanted him to do an untuned harp for me, and he said it landed right above B1, and he said, do you want me to tune it to B1? And I'm like, no, just leave the harp where it's at. I like a harp where it falls, the natural tone of the harp. Could I please play on the big one, top right corner? This corner here? Yeah, I can play that. That's a Niega holotrope. Or Naya. Yeah, the holotropes are super deep. Got an Orbit coming as well. Orbit's about this long, but it's huge, a massive harp. I'm playing a holotrope. They do play pretty easy, but you just got to watch where you contact. Like, I try to contact it in the center. You don't want to contact it, like, near the back of its throw when it starts coming forward, or near the front of its throw when it starts coming back. It'll cause it to wobble. See if we can bust into a different rhythm. I had a really cool rhythm going today when I was practicing. I was hanging out with my son and had Morchang upstairs, one of the higher Mohan, and had a really cool rhythm and kind of sort of a melody playing. There's a Gorka. Where did I put my Mohan? I'll have to find it. Or maybe I won't. Harps get lost amidst the mist, especially when you're looking at a wall and you're like, where is, oh, I see you right there. One of these harps is not like the other. Hi guys, I'm new to harp, didn't expect to hear the devil singing bass. Oh yeah, the devil's good at singing bass. I mean, Glaser, somebody asked about a good beginner harp. Glaser and Wave, Glaser and Lighthouse, Glaser and Compass. I really like the Gorka Tailless. Easy enough to start out on a beginner, and you got cool melodic content. It says the Sungur Vargan was good. says, what do I do if the reed on my harp is loose? First question I would ask would be, what harp is it in particular that has a loose reed? And also, how is that reed attached? Is the reed crimped into place? Or is it like a mud harp that has a block holding it? Or is it like a Glazerin where you have security screws holding the reed? Or also like on the Vietnamese harps, you have a plate on the top, like the first one, it's crimped. Which harp is it in particular? What does the harp look like? Let's see, how would we do that? Don't know where, I don't have a Wimmer or a cheap harp like that. But anyways, we'll just go with a Szilagyi. But a decent harp, the reeds normally will not come loose. Just contact whoever you bought it from, say that the reed is loose. But what I would do to fix them is I place it on my little anvil and I peen the reed back over. If you can, try to line it. And if you see that there's a space next to the reed, where the reed, he said it was crimped. So say if this is a cross section of the end and your reed only comes to here and you have a space here and you notice that it's loose, right? Like that. If you have a little space next to where your reed is, that means the crimp is kind of incomplete. So I would complete that crimp the rest of the way out. If you see that it has a larger space on one side, then as you crimp it, it's probably going to drift toward that side. As you start to tighten the reed down within the decks, it's probably going to drift to that side. So I'd anticipate that drift when you crimp it. And then a lot of times a frame, depending on how you crimp it, might distort a little bit too. So you're going to have to put it in the vise and straighten it out. If you want, get a hold of me, shoot a message to the Harpery on Facebook, and I'll talk about recrimping your harp if you'd like. Or if you get a hold of who you bought it from, and say, hey, the reed came loose, especially if it happened very, very quickly, they'll probably send you a new harp or offer to have you send it back to fix it. But anyways, yeah, if it's from the Harpery, we guarantee all harps. The reeds should not come loose. And if they do, which is a very, very rare occurrence, especially in good harps, we'll fix it or just send you a new one. Anyways, what are we talking about here? Where did I go? I just went off on a tangent there. We're probably going to play one more harp. We're at 3307. Oh, no problem. And a lot of times if you have those Grover harps, which I don't know if I have a Grover or a trophy up here. I've got too many harps. My desk is full of harps. My drawers are full of harps. Yeah, I wouldn't know where it went, but those come loose very, very easily because there's not much of an ear crimping that down. But most harps are going to be like a puzzle piece, and you're not on the edges. There's going to be no space at all. And you can have a reed come loose and not be able to see any space as well. What should we play? We'll play one more harp. Played something melodic. I want to play this weird thing. Got this a while back. Nick here. Any harp from the Harpery? Oh yeah, I normally will check a harp. I'll make sure that everything vibrates good. The harp sounds good. Also, I check and make sure that the decks on the frame compress. Even in the cheaper harps, at least semi-consistently. This is an odd harp. This is a Gorka. I don't know what to call it. I haven't put them up on the Harpery yet, but it's one of the Gorka Morchang. Don't know what to call that shape or that pattern there. It's kind of alien looking. And I was talking about something right before that. Oh yeah, inspecting harps. Every harp from the Harpery is inspected, then oiled, then packaged in repurposed styrofoam, completely encased, most of them are, and then mailed out. And if anybody ever has a problem, if you ever order from the Harpery and your harp doesn't arrive in absolutely perfect condition, get a hold of us. Or even if you order a harp and you sit on it. I had one guy who got drunk. He ended up dropping his harp and stepping on it, and then actually sat on it later. I recrimped it for him, got it back up and running for him. So if you bought from the Harpery, you're good. We got you back. We got you. Kind of puffing air out. That if you go, have a happy harvest. Oh, Aunt Joanne, how are you doing? I hope your 2018 was awesome. Have you unboxed that Maranzano yet? She got a killer La Rosa Maranzano. what is a jaw harp? Oh, this is a jaw harp. This is a harp that goes up against your teeth. It's also known as a Jew's harp, a vargan, a drone. There's a ton of, like in every language, there's a name for it. Some people call it a mouth harp as well. None of those terms are incorrect. It goes up against your teeth. Has a vibrating reed, and I manipulate it. Somebody asked you what a jaw harp was. I manipulate it with my breath and my mouth. Got my Moranzano. Oh yeah, Brother George got a Moranzano. Oh, those Giuseppe La Rosa Moranzano are really good. Oh, somebody's got a double bass name. Oh, those are good. In Russia, called a vargan. They also call it a holmus up in, like, I think the northernmost tip of Russia, in Yakutia. Yeah, there's all sorts of cool names for it. He said, if you want a harp made by me, how much would it cost? Harps made by me are normally $65 to $95. But the problem is I just don't have time right now to be building harps. I would love to spend all day building harps, but I've got a job, and I've also got a son and a family and everything. But hopefully in the future, maybe I can begin to phase myself out of heating and air and start building harps more, especially if the harpery begins to take off. I'll play one of mine. I kept a bass for myself quite a while back. Started heat coloring them. I really like tempering whole frames. I do it with fire with a torch. Any chance you would know where to get a case for your lighthouse? Oh yeah, I don't have on the harpery.com. I don't have a button just for buying a case for a lighthouse, but I do believe I have, and gonna have a whole bunch coming in. These are the new case for the lighthouse. Shoot me a message on the Harpery on Facebook. You can just pay me through PayPal if you want a case for your lighthouse. This is the new style of Glazering case. So yeah, if you want a case, just shoot me a message on the Harpery on Facebook. Or at my email, bedcorp1@gmail.com, and we'll get you a case coming. Yeah, the new Glazering case do work out really well. You just gotta be careful when you open them, because if you just open it up without supporting the harp will fall on the floor. But yeah, the new cases look a lot better, and I think they fit in the pocket better as well. Right on, Nats Russell. Oh, Happy New Year to you as well. How. And I'm putting stutters in there too that go. And it's hard to do without the harp because I'm bouncing against the harp. Oh, my favorite harp player is Steve Kinwald, and his name, he can be hard to find just because of the way his name is spelled. It's spelled S-T-E-E-V, Kindwald, K-I-N-D-W-A-L-D. Go to his YouTube page and also his Facebook page. Check his videos out. There's one in particular of an evening of him playing the Morsing, and it's probably the coolest harp solo I've ever seen, just of him playing and Morse thing. Anyways, that's going to be it for this live show. I have had so much fun hanging out with y'all in 2018. I look forward to an excellent year of harps in 2019. I love y'all. Keep your harps clean. Keep them dry. Keep them oiled. Be good to each other. Adios. Have a happy New Year's. I love y'all. Adios. Peace.